They say you should learn something new every day. Like how you should only drink Jägermeister at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, ice cold. Like those frozen cavemen they find, which makes you wonder, what would a caveman think of Jägermeister? Well, if you served it warm, he'd probably throw it in your face, say, "Unga boonga," and storm off. And nobody wants that. So drink it cold or not at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. Drink responsibly. Jägermeister liqueur, 35% alcohol by volume, imported by Mast Jägermeister, U.S., White Plains, New York.
Springfest means more sun, more fun, and more free at Lowe's. Keep your yard in line with an additional free Ego 56-volt battery when you buy a select Ego mower, trimmer, or blower. Plus, keep landscaping fresh with Stay Green 1 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for $10. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Morning decisions. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Ever feel like your brain just won't click? Onnit Alpha Brain is a daily supplement engineered to support memory, focus, and mental speed. Made with science-backed ingredients, Onnit Alpha Brain helps you lock in, tune out distractions, and stay sharp. See what your brain can really do. Visit onnit.com and shop Alpha Brain to unlock your next level. That's ONNIT.com.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
American soccer fans, welcome to episode 180 of the USA Soccer Cast. We're bringing you everything about the U.S. national teams, the players, the leagues, and everything else that impacts the game of soccer in these United States. I'm Donald Wine. We are going to take a look back at last week's men's national team window. We're going to reflect on the matches they played against Belgium and Portugal, and we're going to discuss what's next as they move towards the World Cup, which begins in just over 2 months. They had 2 games in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Great crowds for both of them. 66,000 people in attendance for Belgium. Near capacity, I think actually at capacity, 72,000 and change for the game against Portugal. And those attendances might have been the best part of the week for the United States men's national team. 2 not great results. First off, they lose to Belgium 5-2. Wes McKennie and Patrick Agyemang had the goals. Wes McKennie opened scoring for the United States. Then Belgium rattled off 5 goals in a row before Patrick Agyemang stopped the bleeding with a goal late in that match. There was also the Portugal game where they lost 2-0. And when we talk about these games, of course, we knew that there was an uphill climb. And the hope was that the U.S. would be able to show something against 2 top 10 teams. And they were also going up against some history, because the last time the United States beat a top 10 team was in June of 2015, when Bobby Wood led comebacks against number 6 Netherlands at the time and number 1 Germany on the road in the span of 5 days. Since then, the United States has not beaten a top 10 team. That streak, unfortunately, continues with the losses to Belgium and Portugal. Let's first start with the Belgium game, because I think it felt like it was going well. Again, McKennie gets the opening goal. it seems like they're doing well. And then right before halftime, Belgium equalizes. And then the wheels kind of come off in the second half, where they rattled off four more goals before, again, Ajamong scored the last one. There was also the kit clash that was on TV, also people in person. The U.S. were wearing their stripes jersey. Belgium was wearing their new away jersey. Did not look good on TV. They should have probably switched that up or figured out how to make that where it was more of a contrast. But man, that was a sight to see. But maybe it hid some of the flaws that the United States definitely showed in that matchup. They then go to the game against Portugal, and there was an interesting thing that happened. The formation changed. Mauricio Pochettino has been using a three-back lineup for, basically since last fall, since that South Korea match where we got torched. And then since then, we had been doing well. We rattled off a bunch of wins in a row, and it was based in part due to the switch in formation to a three-back lineup. Well, against Portugal, he went to a 4-3-3. But not only that, there was some experimentation in some of the positioning. Christian Pulisic, for example, was put in the starting center forward role, which is an unusual place for the men's national team star. He was supposed to operate as a false nine, but it didn't work that way. And it also left our main strikers, who were all trying to fight for World Cup spots, on the bench. And so a lot of people, they bended it at halftime. Wes McKennie was in an attacking mid role instead of his usual box-to-box role. You had basically three guys behind Pulisic in the false nine. Everything about it didn't work. And at halftime, they kind of switched away from that and went back to what they thought was, they normally do, in the hopes that that can maybe spur a comeback, but it didn't. I will say, Clint Dempsey, in his podcast with Men in Blazers, after the game, he mentioned, quote, "If I'm one of those forwards, I'm going to be pissed. They've been performing really well, and they're chomping at the bit to get on and to do more for the national team. It's either a situation where they thought, all right, let's rest Christian in terms of his defensive responsibility and allow him to have more energy going forward, or they thought that he couldn't do a good job defensively, so I don't know what the answer is to that," end quote. I agree. I don't know what your final match that you have before you name the World Cup squad, which is going to be next month. You don't experiment on Thanksgiving, and you don't experiment in the final game you have to try and get your guys the best opportunity for them to show that they should be on this team. And I think if you're one of the forwards, that was an opportunity lost because they experimented with a guy that they're probably not going to play at center striker, putting him on the field in that position, basically taking two guys out of their element, more than two guys really, but two direct guys out of their element, and putting more guys on the bench that now feel like, okay, what's going on here? And so it was a very weird decision. Dempsey also went on to add, quote, "When you get the chance to come into the game, you have a point to prove, and it didn't look like much happened there," end quote. I also think it was just they were out of sorts. One of those guys has used the starting a game, and then the other guys can come on in relief. But to try and get all of them on, weren't able to do that. And so now one of those guys is sitting there thinking, okay, what is my role in this team? How am I going to be utilized? Am I going to have a chance to start, or are they going to, go with this one starter or Christian Pulisic, right? I think those were very weird times for the men's national team. But I think the biggest story is that this team did not look good. Yes, they were two very, very good teams in Belgium and Portugal, but we're going to have to beat teams like that in the World Cup if we want to go far. We may not have them in the group, but you have to be able to beat the elite teams. That's what held us back in 2022. We were doing fine. We held our own against England, but then we met a Netherlands squad that was just too much. They had three opportunities to score. They scored three times. They won the game. We have to be able to get to that point to be able to keep teams like that at bay. Sure, we've seen flashes of that against Uruguay, against Brazil right before Copa America, where people had this hope that, hey, maybe they can turn it around. But they have not beaten, again, a top 10 team in 11 years. And they need to figure out how to do that if they want to advance in this World Cup. So we'll leave that there. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we're going to talk about what's next for the national team as they prepare for the 2026 World Cup. We'll be right back.
If we knew more about our sleep, what would we do differently? Would we go to bed at a consistent time or take steps to reduce interruptions to our sleep? With Sleep Score, Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency, interruptions, and sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines these factors into an easy-to-understand score from 1 to 100. So you'll know how to take the quality of your sleep from okay to very high. Know your sleep score with Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
K-pop Demon Hunters, Haja Boys breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Tap the banner or visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The Instant Oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings. Like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker, bring out the good.
Hey everyone, are you looking for the latest gear for your U.S. national teams, Major League Soccer, the NWSL, or any other team in the world of soccer? The USA SoccerCast has affiliate partnerships that are ready to help you out. Head to linktree.com/USA SoccerCast, where we have links to Homage, Fanatics, the MLS store, and Breaking Team. You can get the jersey, shirt, hat, or accessory you're looking for to support your team, while also saving some money and helping this show in the process. Again, linktree.com/USA SoccerCast. Click on the links and get your gear. And we thank you as always for your support of the show. All right, we are back. We are talking about the U.S. men's national team. Quick note, next week, the U.S. women's national team, or starting on Saturday, they will be playing Japan in 3 matches. We are going to preview that window later on this week, including the roster that came down late last week. But for the men's national team, now that the last window before the World Cup roster is announced is over, what's next? Well, first, they now know who the rest of their group is going to look like. We already knew Paraguay and Australia were our first 2 matches, but we found out also on the 31st that Turkey will be the 3rd team in that group. They beat Kosovo in the final playoff for UEFA Playoff C, and they make the World Cup for the first time since they finished 3rd in 2002, and just the 3rd time ever in their country's history that they've been at a World Cup. So that will be that June 25th game in LA to close out the group stage for the United States. So a very difficult team, but again, a team we saw in June of last year in Hartford. I think it's cool that we have 3 teams that we are familiar with, that we've seen in the last year, but these games obviously are going to be a lot different. This is the World Cup, so the heightened urgency is going to be present in each of these 3 games. Each of these 3 games, as Mauricio Pochettino has said before, he wants them to approach like World Cup finals because that's what they are if you want to continue to progress in the World Cup. So what's next for this team? All these guys have gone back to their clubs. Club play resumed this weekend. And now it's about staying in shape, remaining healthy, getting those consistent minutes on the field, and showing that you are getting better, showing that you are reaching your peak strength. As Mauricio Pochettino looks at all these guys and evaluate what he's looking for on this national team, what he wants in a World Cup roster. He has said that he doesn't want the best 26. He wants the right 26. He wants the guys that can be put together in the way that he thinks that will be best for this team to move forward. I don't know where, obviously we have some of these players that you would think are givens, but no one can assume that they are on this team yet. So they have to continue to play well and elevate their game. For the guys who did make this roster, their work is even more cut out for them. They know that they need to impress in their club performance to maybe tell Mauricio Pochettino, hey, you made a mistake not bringing me in here. Whether it was they were out due to injury or out due to coach's choice, they need to show that they're healthy, that they're playing well, and that this team could use someone with their skill set. Form is going to be super important, not just for the outfield players, but especially for our goalkeepers. Our goalkeepers need to be sharp. All of them hopefully will be playing every week as they continue to improve and show that they not only should be on this team, but can be a number one guy if called upon. The final question, or questions, I should say, are about Mauricio Pochettino and what's in his mind. What's he looking for in this team? Again, we might know some of the major players that are going to be a part of this team, but for those 20 to 26 guys that are going to be on this roster, what is he looking for? Has he decided right now who those guys might be, and then players can play their way on or off those spots? For someone who didn't make this roster, is it really it for them? Or is he really being serious when he says that those players still have a shot of making this team? Did we see the preview in Atlanta of what the World Cup roster minus one of those guys and maybe a couple of guys that were injured would look like? And for the guys that were in Atlanta, for the guys that played against Belgium and Portugal, did they do enough to stay on the team, to stay in the favor of Mauricio Pochettino? He's going to have to make some cuts from that roster. Who will they be? It's not just going to be one goalkeeper. It could be a midfielder. It could be a defender. It could be a striker. You never know. And all of those guys have to play like their name hasn't been called, because it hasn't. And I think over the next few weeks, we may see some guys really stand out and go, hey, you have to take them. You have to figure out a way to put them on this team. Meanwhile, you may have some guys that whose form will drop, and they will take their name out of consideration with that. The guys who were injured, hopefully they are all getting back healthy, so that this is a difficult decision for Mauricio Pochettino because everyone is healthy. We don't want it to make it easy on him with guys that are hurt. Basically saying, okay, well, this guy's hurt. I can't consider him for this team. Hopefully everybody is in a position where they can play their best soccer at the right time so that Mauricio Pochettino can make the best decision with everyone at full strength. That's all we can hope for. And I think as we finish out the club year abroad, as MLS gets into high gear here in the United States before they reach a break, it's going to be important for all of us to watch and kind of see all these games and see these performances and see what these guys are doing to put their final marks on their resume to say, this is me, take it or leave it. And Mauricio Pochettino will have a big decision because, of course, this is the World Cup and is also played on home soil. So these guys, nobody's sitting here saying, hey, call me next time. They all want to be a part of this particular roster, and we look forward to seeing how this plays out over the next month and a half. That would do it for episode 180 of the USA Soccer Cast. Thank you for listening. Remember, you can find us on Blue Sky, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us on all of those sites at USA Soccer Cast. Subscribe, rate, review our shows. It helps to get in front of new people, and it's greatly appreciated. Tell your friends about us. Finally, head to linktree.com/USA SoccerCast to check out our affiliate links and our stimulus store. We have everything you need to watch a beautiful game and follow your teams, and using those links also helps support the show. We'll talk to you again soon, y'all. Peace.